Hey guys, Fire here, and today I wanted to go ahead and just talk about what I think are some of the best I guess specifically anime tower defense games of all time. Now, to be completely fair here, I have not played every single anime tower defense to ever release, of course. It would be silly to have. But from the ones I've played, I figured I'd make a tier list, not tier list, but a list of what I feel like are some of the best, both opinionated and somewhat factual. Like, only a couple of them are actual factuals, but most of these are my opinion, so if you disagree, please don't attempt to blow me to smithereens in the comments. But regardless, if you guys do find this entertaining or whatever, I guess, please consider liking and subscribing, as it would help me out a lot. And let's get into the first game. Okay guys, we're here in the first game I wanted to talk about. Now, if you've been in the community for a while, well, specifically tower defense community for a while, you would know this game and agree with it. Well, most likely agree with it. But, of course, this is All-Star Tower Defense, one of the most influential tower defense games in history for Roblox specifically. Now, this game basically started the whole tower defense boom. It obviously was, you know, the first real anime tower defense, and it had all kinds of systems that made the game feel way more ahead of its time. Like the Stardust system, I'm going to be honest, I was not a big fan of the Stardust system. It would have been a lot better if these were actually like infinitely farmable, so you could get the characters a little bit easier. Even if it took a while, I feel like it would have been better than being a limited resource, but I didn't really care that much. I liked that the evolutions weren't, you know, just do X Legend Stage 12 times and have a bunch of different colored items, you know, like elemental stones from Vanguards and stuff. I am not a big fan of that system. It was a lot more unique than that. And of course, this is the first anime tower defense game I played. I played it a long time ago. It may not look like I'm that crazy, but I did play it quite a bit. I can't give you guys an exact time, of how much I played it, but I played it a lot. I do like that this game did not have traits, because this was before Anime Adventures came out and introduced traits to the whole tower defense community and whatnot. I feel like that is a very good thing, not having traits. Traits just honestly kind of can ruin a game, or more so a make or break. If it's not balanced well, traits are just not going to be good. And I liked that this game also had like a huge sense of community. You know, it wasn't just doing the same stage solo 500 times. Like, for the raids, you had to actually play with other people. And I feel like that made this game just so much more charming, more interesting, a lot more fun to play, you know? But regardless, that's all I wanted to talk about for this game. I'm sure most of you already know this. I didn't need to go over it for too long. But regardless, that's going to be all. Let's go ahead and get into the next game. Okay, guys, we're here in the second game. Now, chances are some of you may not know this. Some of you will know this. This is just one of my personal favorites. Not of course now. It's honestly kind of gotten into a pretty poor state. But whenever I first started playing over a year ago, back in the first anniversary update, the game was very good. I had been waiting because I hadn't played it yet until the anniversary update dropped, and this game was in maintenance for like 3 months. It took so absurdly long to drop that update, but it was whatever. But the game was really great whenever it first came out. I had so much fun. I like that this game has traits, but they aren't really necessary, and they're also pretty unique. Like, obviously, Honored One is the Monarch equivalent, but it's also not as necessary as you would think, because it just limits you to one placement, but also increases your cost based on however many placements you lost. Now, of course, it's still strong, but it's not absolutely necessary. Like, Streamliner is still a pretty good trait for characters that would want multiple placements and whatnot. But, of course, similar to All-Star Tower Defense, this game had evolutions that weren't just doing the same one stage 12 times and then getting the colored stones, you know? I fucking hate that mechanic, dude. Why do we do that? Regardless, that's not the point. Of course, it's just, you know, doing different stages over and over again. Now, of course, it's still a little bit of a grind, but, like, here, okay, this is gonna seem very laggy, but here. Let me just use Makima. You have to do damage instead of getting kills. Not every unit has the clear stage mechanic, but Makima does specifically have the clear stage mechanic. But most of these, not all of them, but most of them come from different stages and whatnot. And that's what I like about this game. It's not just the same thing over and over again. And that's what I had so much fun with. And of course, the unit obtainments, like from specifically this Miracle Crafter, were very cool. It was pretty similar to an evolution, but it's still way more entertaining than doing a stage X amount of times or summoning on a banner X amount of times. Which, of course, this game does, in fact, have a, summon on banner thing. Which, it's pretty standard. But, of course, I'm not going to fault the game for that. I don't hate that system. But I hate if it's, like, basically the only thing you get. That or dropping from a stage. But regardless, that's all I really wanted to say for this game in particular. Again, I do enjoy this game. And let's go ahead and get into the next game. Okay, guys, we're here in the next game. This is going to be an absolute shocker to everyone, I know. Totally. But, of course, I'm not going to take too long on this because, obviously, this should be clear based on the fact that I make game videos on this game all the time. But this is currently my favorite tower defense game on the platform. It's very easy to get into, very free-to-play friendly. It's, like, really not too money hungry. Like, obviously, you can buy the bundle units, but that's also going away soon. They did say that that's going to be stopped. Which, honestly, I don't hate that as much as some people do. Especially for this game where it's really easy to get the character. Whereas ALS, the new shiny rarity, which is supposed to be a hard thing to get, having Goku be perfectly buyable, that was so scum. I hated that. And then the fact that you could buy the entire update in one bundle, nah. But regardless, again, I'm not trying to glaze. I do think that's whatever. Because characters in this game are fairly easy to get. And again, it's very free-to-play friendly. You can get thousands and thousands of rerolls in just a few minutes. You can get VIP for completely free from the Ragna shop. You can just get pretty much anything. Even every character is tradable. Like, there's no limitations on a trade. And, of course, I do like that there are more unique unit choices, such as Blast. Okay, I know I hated Blast whenever he first came out because of how overpowered he is, but now that he's been balanced a lot more, I think he's cool. But I think that's a very unique character choice. Obviously, Jotaro and Dio aren't particularly unique, but Flirtless, very unique. I mean, of course, Hajun isn't really in any tower defenses. You don't really see Toru himself with Wonder of You. Yuichiro you never see. Stuff like that. I think it's very unique with its character choices. And I think that's a part of the game that I just particularly love. And it's also not too insanely grindy unless your name is Freerun. Which, God, I hated this! Anyway, regardless, I'm not too worried about that. And traits, again, as I said in the free-to-play section, they exist, but they're not too hard to get. Because of the fact that you can just get thousands of rerolls. Like, you can get 2,000 rerolls in like 3 minutes by doing 1000% world boss. Now, you have to be late game to be able to do that. But still, it doesn't take you that long to get late game in this game. It's so incredibly easy, especially with Jotaro and Dio right now. Because you can get these two, if you're early game, by just bringing characters in. You don't have to do actual damage. It's based on hit count. And I think that's so unique. Like, I haven't seen a tower defense game actually make hit count space stages. That was so cool. I still hate the fact that it deletes your units. Why do we do that? But that's not the point. Let's go ahead and get into the next video, because I feel like I've spent more than enough time on this game. You guys have seen enough. I spent longer than I intended to talking about it. But regardless, we'll go ahead and get to the next one. Okay, guys, we're here in the next game. Another total shocker. I do really like this game. This is obviously Universal Tower Defense. I think this game is very unique, and that's part of why I have it on this list. I think it's really fun, really unique. And no, it's not just because I've gotten lucky. Grrr! Regardless, I've been playing this since early access, and I think it's fun. It's got unique concepts such as the etherealization, the cell boss from the portal. I absolutely loved that idea. It was fun. I had a great time doing that stage. It's not even that hard. I know it's hard for people that have don't have rulers and whatnot, but like for me in particular, it wasn't as hard as can I get it out? God, but it wasn't as hard as I was expecting. You know. Regardless, I just wanted to go ahead and highlight this game. I think it's relatively free-to-play friendly. Again, relatively. You can get like hundreds of rerolls every week and whatnot. It's not that crazy. And like I said, the modes can be cool. Like the Ragna challenge, that was okay. It on release, it was pretty interesting that you had to deal with that purple hyper armor or whatever. And honestly, it's not really too crazy by today's standards anymore, even though it's only been a couple of months. But I think the Cell boss is very unique. I had a great time with that. And other than that, there's not too much unique about the bosses, but I think the modes are mostly pretty fun. That's all I really have to say for this game in particular. I just wanted to highlight it real quick because this is another one of my personal favorites right now on the platform. And I'm looking forward to what they're cooking. They have great potential, and I am looking ahead. I would put AA here, but honestly, I never played AA, so I can't give you guys a good opinion of it. And if you don't know, obviously that's Anime Adventures. But so I can't really include it in this list. Obviously, it's pretty influential, but I didn't really play it, so I can't give you guys an informed opinion. So I'm not going to include it because I like having my opinions informed when I make videos on something. But regardless, we'll go ahead and get into the last video. Not the last video, yeah, right. The last game of today's video. Okay guys, we're here in the last game of today's video. This game doesn't need any introduction, I'm sure. Everyone knows Anime Vanguards. Obviously, one of the most influential, other than obviously ASCD and Anime Adventures. I would say this is like the third coming of the anime tower defense games in general. But it's had a huge impact, especially just as of late. The game's quality in general has just shown so much, and I'm assuming most games take a lot of inspiration from this game in particular. A mix of this and Adventures, which obviously this game is basically just I guess a spiritual successor to Anime Adventures, just a lot more, free to play friendly and less grindy. Now on release, I'm gonna be completely blunt here, the game was terribly pay to win. But as of late, it's been a lot more free-to-play friendly. Like, for example, with the, Recurring Decadence. If you do this every day, whenever it's on, you can get up to 25 rerolls. It's not that bad. You can do the weekly challenge for 20. And then there's the daily, which gives 3 or 6 on weekends. It's not that bad. Obviously, there's also shinies, and if you normalize those, you get 5. But regardless, that's really all I wanted to say for this game. It's been one of the biggest pushes for the tower defense genre in general. We all know it. There's not much I can say about it. It's kind of grindy, but other than that, it's not much to say. I mean, it's got some pretty unique modes. I do like the Doflamingo raid. Where's the raid second? Yeah, the Doflamingo raid over here in the raids area is pretty fun. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it for some reason, but I think it's very interesting. I like that it's harder, and that you actually have to put effort and thought into it, and that's what I like about it. I want more tower defense games that actually that have modes that make you actually think, instead of just slapping X unit down 500 times. And then my absolute favorite mode in tower defense history is on right now with this Winter Zombies mode. That is so incredibly unique and fun, and I love it to death for that. It's so good. But regardless, that's all for today's video. Again, if you guys did find it entertaining, please consider liking, subscribing. God! My bad. Please consider subscribing. It would help me out a lot. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.